Hello, 1000 Pound Pig here. This is another attempt at trying to find some kind of Altitude 2, one of the favourite games I've ever played. So I want to find something which kind of replicates that, or something which is close. This is A Quiver of Crows. It is a 2D physics-based shoot 'em up type of game, so you have to use a controller because it is also called a twin stick shooter. One stick is used for the movement, one stick is used for spinning your firing arc around. In this game, it's a beak. It is different from games such as Galaga and Space Invaders, which are usually on rails. This is a twin stick shooter, so usually physics are a strong point with this genre. I would say that this is a bit of a shoot 'em up game where you do have to avoid a lot of bullets, but in this you have to avoid a lot of melee enemies, and to categorize it, I guess I would call that a swarm mode. A bit like, I guess, Left 4 Dead or most of your zombie games. So really, you are a crow fighting against all these zombies things. The game description says that this is a game where you fight demons and ghouls, but you are a crow. I don't really know why you are a crow. Why exactly do you crow? Why crow at all? Why aren't you a spaceship with big lasers everywhere, or some kind of old World War II plane or something? Why exactly are you a crow? What makes this unique? I don't know, but A Quiver of Crows in the name, I guess you can say that you have to free your crow buddies, and that helps with the name, A Quiver of Crows. You could also say that this kind of art style makes sense. This Tim Burton art style, it kind of reminds me of that game which I can't remember right now. I don't know, but there's a lot of black and whites in this game, which I think is very striking. It's very easy to tell the foreground and the background, what's different, what you can usually interact with, because what you can interact with is usually sharpness. So things in the background are faded and they look like they're in the distance. Same with things in the foreground, though it does get kind of distracting sometimes. It's not really that confusing. Like, everything is still black and white, and I think I have been confused a few times and run into the wrong thing. But what got me thinking about this game and putting it in this series of trying to find a successor to Altitude 2 is that what made Altitude such a great game. And a lot of people would immediately say multiplayer, and I disagree with that. Multiplayer extends a game's life, definitely. Like, I played Altitude for around 1,000 hours, and only maybe 1 or 2 of those hours was in single player playing against the bots. I did not play multiplayer just because of the people who I knew played it. I played it because it was a fun system. There were great mechanics in it. It felt nice to play it. And if a game doesn't feel good to play it, then you don't last very long in that game. You just move on to the next game, or you just stop playing altogether. You could jump onto a multiplayer game and only play multiplayer if you want, but that would not keep you around there unless you just stand there talking to your friends and don't really do anything in the game. It's like you're playing an MMO game and are just months away from quitting it altogether. So that type of physics, fast style, challenging, easy to play, hard to master gameplay is what I'm looking for in these games. A Quiver of Crows does have that easy to play, hard to master element with it, although it doesn't really have the physics and depth with it, I would say. It is a hard game. A Quiver of Crows is a pretty damn hard game, okay? As you are flying through the levels, you can be attacked by these zombie gold demon things at any moment. They can come at you just flying off the screen. It's not as bad as what it used to be, apparently, because there is now a dynamic camera which lets you see more of the screen and where the enemies will come from. But what makes it so hard is the physics system, where if you see a wave of these eye things or just a wave of enemies and you shoot one, their lights go out. They just turn completely black and they are a corpse. They are in the way. That means the bad guys behind them are all safe because they aren't getting shot at. They can use their buddy as a bit of a human shield or demon shield. Gold shield, I don't know what demons call it. Evil shield! That. So this swarm mode is kind of interesting with these physics. I think that's what really makes this game unique and challenging, by being able to kind of push those corpses aside just so you can shoot through and shoot the second wave of enemies. But probably more important is the flying. What makes this game so satisfying with its flying? And I would say this flying is not satisfying. The twin sticks shoot 'em up type of idea I think is really cool. It really gives you a sense of I guess freedom, and you can move really fast. I guess you can also use a keyboard in this, so you don't have to use a controller. But the problem with the flying in this game is that the flying is too easy. As you fly, you simply float. Yet there's no risk of falling to the ground, crashing into a wall, the ceiling, or trees or anything like that and blowing up. I guess it makes sense that you are a bird and not a spaceship for this example. But still, there's no way of interacting with those objects. No way of interacting with the ground or anything like that. You are a bird and you can fly, and that's really all you can do. You can shoot somehow, you can shoot things out of your beak. There's a bunch of different power-ups in the game. I even saw in the trailer that there's a way to get a laser eye beam, so that's cool. But the flying isn't good, the flying is not great, sadly. But the game does not have that multiplayer, it is only single player. But does the single player have depth? With the flying, no. With the physics, yes. With the power-ups, yeah, I don't know yet. This is not a complete game. This is still in its alpha stage, it is not released yet. So I can't say that the power-ups are actually great because they could be a lot more. As you do progress through the levels, you seem to get one new power. You can get special abilities and normal abilities. Normal abilities just come out of your beak and you can just switch to them. They're like different types of weapons, I guess. Yeah, Crow is carrying around weapons. I don't know. You can't exactly see the weapon you shoot out of your beak or eyes. I don't know. Crows are weird. What I think this game is missing though is a poo button. That's what I was really hoping for this game and I'm really disappointed. I wanted poo, okay? I wanted to fly around with my crow, poo white crap, and it just spread all over the map. That would have been cool. That would have really been great for this game, especially if the poo has its own physics and everything, which can just splatter everywhere. Oh my god, I'm talking about poo. So I made this video because this is a type of game, and in this series I'm trying to find another altitude. They are never really represented well in screenshots. The screenshots can look amazingly detailed or amazingly simple, but really the gameplay and watching the game in motion is what makes these games so special, because it's the feeling of movement which makes this game so much better than the screenshots which are advertised on Steam or anywhere else. And what I haven't mentioned is that this game can be played in multiplayer co-op. I don't think the game would be any harder because this is already quite hard and you just have to play through the game in the single player mode with the same amount of enemies. But that's a cool little feature. But if I had to give this game a score out of 10, I would probably give it a 4 out of 10. It could probably go up to 5 or maybe even 6. The main problem is that flying is just too easy. It feels like a platformer made for kids. It's too easy and that's not really fun for me. I want something with... physics are good in the game, but I want the actual object which I'm controlling to have physics as well. I want it to have a drop, even if it's a slight drop, because you are a bird, not a helicopter, but it just feels like you are a helicopter, which it just doesn't really feel right for these physics. I think it would feel a lot better if the bird did have some gravity which would affect it and cause it to maybe go on the ground and maybe even stand up. I don't know. That sounds like 6 out of 10 territory right there. So I hope this has helped you. I hope you have seen this footage and this movement system in place and I don't know, excited about it, or maybe just not excited about it. Maybe you saved some money by watching this video. Maybe you were even entertained. You know what to do then. You can post in the comments, let me know, thumb it up or thumb down if you were not entertained. Are you not entertained? Why? I want to know why. I would like to see you in the chat, and I hope to see you in the future.